just the most frustrating thing that people think I'm stupid just because of the subject I do. I don't know why, but I've got such a severe problem with it because the subject I've chosen makes me feel stupid. But at the same time, like, I come to university and I honestly think our subject is very difficult, and I think it's just as difficult as other subjects. In fact, I don't think anyone's subject is more difficult than someone else's. They're just different. They're different ways of thinking, and I don't understand how people think that they can be compared. It really frustrates me. So yeah, with this obsessive behaviour thing, I think, one of the things I wanted to say with that is that I think I've now become, in some strange way, obsessed with my relationship with Rich. And like, for a time, I just thought, oh, well, I'm no longer obsessed with work. I've gotten over it all. But actually, when I think about it and look back, as I have done now, on this for now half an hour, I realise there's a real pattern there of being obsessed. And like, it was just this one moment in Vanelline's video when it was like her eating this photograph of her lover, and I just thought, my God, that's what I've done? And it was the weirdest realisation. It was like, Christ, I've done that for like how many years? And also, like, how do you fix that? And like, why is it even there? And I looked up on the net and it was about sort of anxiety and things like that. I've actually bought a book on it, so maybe I'll be more enlightened after the Christmas holidays. But how strange to be obsessed with someone. Like, he's my new sort of thing that I want to try and control, but because it's a person, you can't control another person. And it's all about control and trying to control where things are going, and you can't. Life, I mean, to a certain extent you can control life, but at the same time you can't, and you have to allow things to be, random and not planned, and you have to allow that certain element of disorder in your life, which is funny because this subject of chaos and order keeps coming back. I think I really need to look at my work last year and try and get a dialogue going again. I wanted to talk about religion, but this is going to already be like 3 videos, so oh well, I'll just do it anyway, get it off my chest. Yeah, so basically my parents are really religious. They're both Christians, and so when I was, the weekend a week ago, Rich sort of just, came over to say, oh, I'm sorry, we're going to have to break up and that malark, and we're there like, crying, holding each other. It was very, very melodramatic. But, and my mum came in and, she sort of sorted it out and stuff. But after Rich had gone, we just had like a 3-hour conversation about stuff. And basically it got onto like religion, because she was saying that, because I was talking about this critical thing in me that I hate and that I don't want to be there. And she was saying that when she was my age, she had a terrible temper. I mean, I've got a pretty bad temper on me. Like, I can go from like normal to like quite quickly, but like I'm a bit better at controlling it now. Well, I'm not really. With Rich, I'm really bad. But like, anyway, she was saying about her temper that at sort of a universe, like my age now, she like, it sounds kind of cheesy, she asked like God to take it away. And honestly, if you met my mother, you'd just be like, what the hell is this temper business about? Because it's just not there. It isn't. And like, I was like, no, you didn't. She was like, I did. I had a terrible temper, worse than yours. And like, it's like my granddad, because my granddad has a really bad temper. But the thing was with my granddad, like, he, explodes, but then after he's exploded, he doesn't have any grudge with you, and it's like fine. But with my mum, she said, she used to get mad, really mad, explode, but then she'd still hold a grudge with it, which is exactly what I do. I'm just trying to think of this family joke that, like, when I was really young, my dad was basically making a joke. I misunderstood, I thought he was making a joke, but I misunderstood him. He was being serious, and he told me to go there, like, come here, and I didn't, and then he smacked me, and it was the first time that I felt like I'd had a smack without, like, deserving it, and, like, basically he, like, took me into the kitchen in Hong Kong, and he got me a Coke, and we didn't often have Coke because it was like a special thing, because my brother used to get really hyperactive if he had Coke, so, like, obviously they couldn't give me Coke and not give him Coke, so anyway, it was a special, reward if you got Coke. And he said sorry to me, and he really said sorry, and he really meant it, but I bring it up all the time. I haven't really forgiven him for it. I think I have now, but I bring it up in jest. Well, I don't know if I have forgiven him for it, because I just felt that was the one time, like, that with my dad, I just felt like, I don't understand you. I don't know who you are. You scare me. You frighten me. Because I didn't understand him, because I thought he was joking and he wasn't. I don't know, it's a weird one. And anyway, like, I can't remember what I was saying. Yeah, so my mum's sorted this out, and, like, I don't know, we just got talking about religion and how it's helped her and things like that, and, like, she gave me a Bible to bring back with me and stuff like that. But it's an odd one, religion. I think in a lot of ways it's because I've listened, because I've always tried to keep an open mind about it, because I do feel like in some ways in my life, and also in my family life, especially when I've experienced things which have just been unexplainable, really. I mean, that's the problem, is at the same time I try and come from, like, a scientific viewpoint or whatever, like, try and be open-minded about it, and, try and understand that, our minds are amazing and what they can do. We don't even, they have so much, can't think of the word, but they've got loads of potential, and the levels of potential are unmeasurable. We don't even know what we can do yet. But really strange stories, where, I mean, my parents had real difficulties having children. My mum's had, like, 8 children, basically, 2 of which have lived, and she's had, like, miscarriages, but also basically both my parents have the same damaged reproductive gene, so the children they have had, a lot of them my mum knew was going to die, but she didn't want to kill them while they were in her, so she had them and, like, had to watch them die. It was horrible, and I just hope to God I know how to go through something like that if I ever have kids. But anyway, with that, she, like, when she had been younger, she had a massive cyst on one of her ovaries, and it had to be removed. So basically she only had 1 ovary left, and while she was still trying for kids, after me and Dan had been born, there were, I think, 2 children after that, and basically a cyst like the size of a mango or something, really massive, that's all I remember her telling me, started to grow on her ovary, and, the doctor said, we're going to have to remove this ovary, and, my mother was absolutely distraught, because she's always wanted a lot of kids, and, like, I mean, obviously, we are, like, a complete blessing that me and my brother are even alive, let alone not defected, apart from me, obviously, in the brain department, but, like, she still wanted kids, and, like, just imagine hearing that, it makes me really upset just to imagine my mum being in that much pain, to be honest, but, like, she, so this was the day before, that got, like, checked out, and she went to her church, and she was absolutely